It's the 8th of January. Thank you for joining us on TNT. Today we're talking about scam networks, scam compounds, one particular person. But this scam story has been a blight on the region for the past 3 or 4 years and certainly come into sharp focus over the past 12 months with some witnesses escaping some of these centres. We've found out a lot more about them, about their operations inside and what they've been doing outside to scam people and the amounts of money that have been involved and the depth of these scam networks into governments, into various countries, particularly in this region in Myanmar and Cambodia. But there has been a high-level arrest over the past couple of days, a new scam compound discovered. So we'll go into these stories and we'll start with the BBC coverage about this high-level arrest. Cambodia extradites alleged scam mastermind to China after arrest. Now, a lot of this man's assets were seized back in October, staggering amounts, including a lot of Bitcoin. I'm not sure exactly how you seize Bitcoin, but that's what happened. We're talking like billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Let's go to the story. And Cambodia says it's extradited to China a billionaire businessman accused of masterminding a vast cryptocurrency scam in which trafficked workers were lured to forced labour camps to defraud victims globally. Chen Zhi was among 3 Chinese nationals arrested on the 6th of January. Now, he's reported here as a Chinese national. Indeed, he was born in China, but he'd relinquished his Chinese nationality for 2 other passports. We'll find out about that soon. And the US charged the 37-year-old who was born in southeast China last October with running international scams from Cambodia. And back in October, the US Treasury Department seized about $14 billion worth of Bitcoin it alleged belonged to him. And the UK also sanctioned his global business empire, Prince Group. Now, this man was a bit camera shy in the past, certainly didn't flaunt his wealth, his casinos, his private aeroplanes, but we have found a few pictures we can share of him. And US prosecutors called it one of the biggest financial takedowns in history and the largest ever seizure of Bitcoin. Now, back in October, his whereabouts were unclear, and a bit further down there, on Wednesday, the Cambodian authorities said they'd arrested 3 Chinese nationals and extradited them to the People's Republic of China. The Interior Ministry statement did not say where Chen Zhi had been detained. Now, a couple of dozen other Chinese nationals were deported from Myanmar about 2 years ago, involved in scam centres in the far, far north, right on the border of Myanmar and China. They have been tried recently, 13 of them facing death sentences, so the Chinese government not mucking around. Now, it says that Chen Zhi's Cambodian nationality had been revoked by royal decree last month, and the enigmatic tycoon had given up his Chinese nationality to become a Cambodian citizen back in 2014. And he has one other citizenship as well, we'll get to in a sec. And the UN estimates that hundreds of thousands of people have been trafficked to Southeast Asia, many of them to Cambodia, lured by the promise of legitimate jobs and then forced to run online scams. And then many of those trapped are Chinese and targeting people in China. It says the Beijing Municipal Public Security Bureau established a task force to investigate the Prince Group, describing it as a major transnational online gambling syndicate, based in Cambodia. And has been mentioned many times, by some estimates, scam businesses may account for around half the entire Cambodian economy. Let's check another angle of this story. We'll go to the US ABC News. Cambodia extradites alleged scam kingpin Chen Zhi to China. A lot of the same information a bit further down. Prosecutors in the US charged that his organisation scammed 250 Americans out of millions of dollars, with one losing $400,000 alone in cryptocurrency. In 2024, Americans lost at least $10 billion to Southeast Asian-based scams, according to the US Treasury Department. Now, Chen Zhi's links to high-level businessmen and politicians in Cambodia is well recognised, and investigations are continuing, particularly his links to Hun Sen and the Prime Minister Hun Manet. It said Chen had served as an advisor to the PM Hun Manet and his father, the former Prime Minister Hun Sen, and was honoured with a noble title known as Nik Ok Na. But let's see what Cambodian journalists have been writing about this. We go to a Cambodian Journalist Alliance website. The Prince Group denies links to forced labour scams after asset seizure. And this article penned in November after the initial asset seizure, but before his arrest. And it says Cambodian conglomerate Prince Group said it categorically rejects allegations that it or its chairman were involved in an industrial-scale online scam network built on forced labour. And Prince Group said, this is back in November, that the accusations were baseless and aimed at justifying the unlawful seizure of assets worth billions of dollars. Well, the Prince Group not very happy with the coverage at the time, but their chairman, Mr. Chen Zhi, now repatriated back to China. He'll have his day in court, but I think we all know what's probably going to happen to him. An example will be made as we see much more of a crackdown from the Chinese on citizens' participation in these scam centres. And further down there, Chen, who holds joint British and Cambodian nationality and is originally from China. Well, his Cambodian citizenship's been stripped, but can we expect a call from the British ambassador to China in his defence? Meanwhile, another scam compound has been discovered. This reported in KhalsaEnglish.com. Global fraud hub exposed. New scam compound 50 kilometres from Poi Phet. Poi Phet certainly in the spotlight, just over the border from Thailand, about a 3.5 hour drive from Bangkok. Let's find out more. And Thai authorities have identified a new expanding cybercrime compound deep in Cambodia, warning that global fraud syndicates are relocating to escape regional crackdowns. Well, as predicted, we've already seen some of the major scam centres on the Burmese-Thai border, places like KK Park and in Shwe Koko. They're being closed down, or basically bombed, but they just pack up their computers. They even take some of these scam centre victims, scam centre operators, and they take them as well. They just disappear further into places like Myanmar, further into places like Cambodia, and they just set up and keep going. It is far too lucrative for them to go, oh, well, you know, we had our good days. It's far, far too lucrative. How much money they made from Americans just last year. Of course they're going to keep on doing it. And the discovery comes after a historic joint crackdown by Thailand, China and Myanmar dismantled notorious border hubs like KK Park and Shwe Koko. Officials state that ongoing border tensions and military pressure have pushed these syndicates further into the Cambodian interior for safety. So where is this location? As you can see, right there on the Thai-Cambodian border and about 50k from Poi Phet. And I'll make a bet that they're using both Thai electricity and Thai Wi-Fi to power their scam compound. Now, not much you can say about Malay if you check the Google Maps driving down the main road, and there is only one main road in town, and it's just a very quiet border Cambodian town. Not really much going on as far as Google Maps is concerned, but you can see on the map that it is quite developed just off the area, including that new scam compound. Well, some of the major faces taken out of the system. We'll keep an eye on what happens to Mr. Chen Zhi and the ongoing investigations and the ongoing pressure that's been put on the Cambodian and Burmese governments with cooperation with China and Thailand to try and contain or close down these scam operations. But as you can see, they're just going to close down. They're just going to move somewhere where there's not so much heat, not so much spotlight. I look forward to your comments. Thanks for watching today. Please subscribe to the channel, and we look forward to seeing you next time.